said, I mean, there's no one like me. Trying deep down. What's up? It's Paris Hart, and you're tuning into another episode of the Love of It podcast. Today, we're changing it up. We're taking a break from the music industry, the artists, the managers, all that. We're speaking with a dope influencer and content creator. For everyone who's listening out there, this interview is going to help you with your fashion, your makeup technique, self-care, and you just got to get right for the summer. So why not get ahead of it? Today, we're having a chance to speak with Kenny Screven.
Mm-hmm. Hi, everyone. How are you?
So first things first, let's start from square one. Growing up in Delaware and PA, what was that like?
So technically I was born in Chester, Pennsylvania, but I moved to Delaware around 7. I remember I was going into the 2nd grade, and it was kind of a big change, but I noticed that Delaware was a bit more diverse, which was cool. But as far as growing up, it was really difficult because I'm gay and I felt very pressured to be someone that I wasn't for a really long time. Because I guess I'm 27 now, but probably like 20 years, yeah, it would be about 20 years ago. It wasn't as accepted as it is now. So I had a lot of inner issues to go through before I could kind of fully accept myself. But other than that, Delaware was pretty cool for the most part. I don't plan on ever moving back just because it's a little boring for me. I don't know. I just felt there wasn't much to do. And I'm such a bubbly, I love to explore, adventurous kind of person that I don't know. I just wanted to move. But I am in Pennsylvania now, which I'm closer to Bethlehem, Allentown, Lehigh Valley area. So kind of near Lehigh University. That's where I live now. And I love it. I feel like I've created such a decent environment for the LGBT community in this area because it was lacking a lot. But I work a lot in the community to, create spaces and inclusive spaces for LGBTQ plus people to attend.
Hey, so big shout out first and foremost, because to go and just to build that sort of ecosystem in the area that you're in, that's huge. So just gotta give you your flowers for that.
Thank you.
I'm from upstate New York, so the environment's really kind of the same with Pennsylvania. Like the smaller towns, they seem to be old fashioned, where it's not accepting. It's really tough because I felt growing up, loved punk rock and loved that, but I couldn't go around school like that. Everyone would be like, "Oh, like you're not black enough, or you're not this." So I kind of feel that. When was the moment that you had that switch that you were like, okay, I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care what they're going to say. Like, I'm just going to be me unapologetically.
That honestly took a really long time. So I would have moments where I would do that, but then I feel like I was still coming to terms with myself and my sexuality. So I wasn't 100% sure. It's I knew at a young age, but I always still had that doubt, because I felt like at the time it was the worst thing to be. So I was gonna try out every avenue possible to be everything but that. But I would say for me, definitely college, when I finally was able to go on my own, not have my parents down my back, new clean slate, new people, pretty much when I was placed in a new environment where I didn't know anyone. I felt like I could finally be myself, even though I went to college and I was still straight or in the closet, I guess you could say. I was still in the closet. I knew eventually once I found my circle of friends that I would eventually, come out and stuff. But up until that point, I promised myself, I was you're never gonna come out until you're on your own, independent. I was gonna hide it literally as long as I could. But I guess in college I said F it. I was doing my own thing and I wanted to live my truth. I never wanted to look back when I was 50 or older and I was oh, I didn't take this chance because of this, or I didn't live my truth because someone over there said something. At the end of the day, it's my life. It's my choices and it's my rules. So it's I just don't want to regret anything. So I live that a lot right now. No regrets. But I feel a lot happier and I feel a lot more free about it. So,
and that's all that matters, right? Because health is wealth, and if that's just less weight on your shoulders. And just speaking of that, you talked about helping the LGBTQ community around where you are currently, and about your friend group in college. So how important is it for you to make sure that there's a solid support system in place, to be yourself and to be free?
So that was extremely important for me. Like finding your like chosen family is what some people call it. Finding like your chosen family and a supportive environment around is so important because if it weren't for my friends, truthfully, I would not be where I am today. Because I was like really depressed. I would go through really like depressing moments where I don't know, I feel like people didn't love me or like I didn't have anyone. And it's really hard when you feel like you're alone. There's not like you don't have a best friend that's going through it with you. I mean, at least I didn't. So I felt very alone. Even though I came out in college and I got had a really good experience. Like I honestly didn't really experience any homophobia. I didn't really experience anything terrible. Like I heard of a lot more upsetting stories, because I came out to my roommates, which were all like guys, and they were kind of like, I don't know, I want to say your average like Joe, so I was really nervous at like how they would respond or accept me. So I just was like, I don't know. And like I technically would pretty much live in the girls' dorm because all my best friends were like girls at the time. So like even though I had roommates that were in like the boys' hall, I was always like in the girls' hall. So I became like the toxic boy. That was the name of the hall. And when I would go there, I was myself, but then I would come back to my like the guys' hall, I would be like different. And then I just got to the point where I was like, screw it, and like they loved me and accepted me so much. And like honestly, their opinion mattered to me more than like my girlfriends at the time. I don't know why, but I feel like it's a little like expected or it's not like random if a girl like is friends with like a gay person, you know what I mean? Like I feel like people almost expect that. But for straight like masculine men, it was like, I don't know, this could go one or two ways. Like I could be bullied, like I could be harassed. Like I just didn't know what to expect. But they accepted me wholeheartedly and completely. They said if I ever run into any issues out, like at bars or clubs, they would have my back. And just their support really helped me, throughout my entire journey, truthfully. But I think it's extremely important. And even if your family doesn't accept you, because I went through that whole period too, which that was really hard. Even if your family doesn't accept you, I'm sure there is someone out there that will. And like, even if you have to find them online, even like teachers and like people that aren't necessarily in your age group can be a great support system. There may be a local LGBT community center that you could go to. There's always hope. So I know there's the one like line, like it gets better, and I really do believe that. So try
Yeah,
not
and
to be
so
discouraged.
and for everyone listening out there, like that's the key to living happy and just doing great things, is making sure that you surround yourself with people who are like-minded like you and who are doing the same things. And I just want to praise you for saying like it doesn't matter what age, what they look like,
Mhm.
where you meet them, just anybody around you that has that positive attitude is just so needed. And this just the warmth is like you just can't compete with it. Like
Mm-mm. And it makes a difference. Like it makes a huge difference. Like literally just talking to one person may like save a person's life, like truthfully, So I think people should just be more accepting and more just like aware of people's like mental health and what they may be going through at home. Because you may see someone at school and they may seem okay, but when they go home, they're like really depressed. So I know me personally, like I would like if you see someone like sitting alone at lunch, like don't make fun of them. People definitely would like make fun of people who like tend to have a lot of friends and stuff like that. But like maybe they're going through something deeper. And if you just, even just said hello, like or gave like a compliment, like that can go so far. That can make someone's whole like day. So be nice people.
facts, spread positivity. So from that moment in college to really like where you are now, having a huge following, making content, making videos, what was the steps to really say, okay, like this is who I am, this is who I'm accepting, like I'm gonna change my attire, I'm gonna be me unapologetically to use
Hmm.
it as a stream of revenue. What was that like?
So that was my entire journey was difficult, honestly, but it was kind of stepping stones. Like it was like the more comfortable I got with myself, the more I wanted to share with my audience. I noticed that because if you look back on my Instagram and you see like older pictures, because I know some people like once they kind of get like a bigger following, they'll delete everything else from the past, and it's like you just see this new person and you don't know what steps it took to get there, if you know what I mean. But I love to keep all my stuff up. It's like, you know, where it was like you see the whole entire growth, and I love to see it. But it was really hard. So I started out with just like foundation. And when I would post, I didn't want people to clock me for it. So I would kind of just be like very secretive about it, but I would like over edit my pictures a ton before I started wearing makeup. So that's how I kind of got into wearing makeup. But then when I started wearing it, it was like just foundation. And like in person, people would be like, wow, you have such good skin. But I would never own up to it. Like I would never be like, oh, it's like this foundation or that foundation. And like same with pictures. And if you guys know anything about makeup, you know foundation is amazing, but it can make you look very flat if that's all you're using. You know what? You'll just look like a blob. Like that's how you need concealer, blush, like more if you want it to look more natural, I guess you can say, and like defined. But where was I? Oh, so yeah. So then I started getting more comfortable with myself. I started adding concealer. I started adding blush. So as each month went on, I kind of just started to find myself more and more, and I stopped caring more of what people thought. You know, like it was just like the more comfortable I am, the less I care about what you have to think, because at the end of the day, I love myself. You know, and I'm not gonna sit here and say it was like a perfect journey. Like there was obviously times where I doubted myself. There was times where I like, you know, wanted to give up. Um, but I had an awesome support team. So that's what really kept me going. They really made me feel like, oh, like you're not weird, you're fine. You know, they really just made me feel like I'm just a person, you know, that just has, I guess, a unique interest at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, even today, like with social media, it's kind of boosting it so everybody is, you know, getting a new light of, okay, I could be this person, or I could be this person, or you know, I could be myself. So even though there's so much positivity on social media, there's still that negative of
Mhm.
trying to hold it down. You have the soldiers in the comments. So there's two questions I gotta ask. One of them is, how do you ignore the negativity, and how do you get on social media and really help make this the new norm?
hmm So truthfully, it's just being yourself. I would say that's the easiest thing. And I know it's easier said than done, but honestly, just do things that make you happy. Try not to look at the hateful comments. I mean, obviously we all do, because you know, that's just how we are. But for every bad hate comment, I'm sure there's like 5 or 10 positive comments. So you have to really just focus on who's supporting you and who's not. And if you really just don't enjoy the hate comments and you really just can't take it, block the person. You know, like at the end of the day, it's your page. So if they can't be respectful or polite, bye. You know, that's how I feel. I personally left the hate comments just because it gave me something to like. It was like haters are my motivators. Like that was kind of like my like mindset back then. It's a little different now, but like that's what kept me going back then. Like I was like very much like haters are my motivators, but I had a lot of supporters at the time who would like argue with these haters in the comments. So it was like I got my tribe, you know what I mean? I got people that love me and support me. So if you don't like me, peace. Literally. I'm not gonna waste my time or energy. I'm not gonna let your comment ruin my whole day, because at the end of the day, it is just a photo, it is just a video. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah.
It's just, this is my life. This is how it's gonna be. I don't care what the world thinks, and that's how
Mhm.
it's gonna stay. And
Yeah.
so speaking of that, we got to get into the makeup process now. First
hmm
and foremost, is there any product that you're like, that's a go-to? I gotta have that. I gotta make sure I have that on me.
hmm So this is I use the Laura Mercier foundation a lot. I'm like right on my vanity, so I can just like show you guys. Favorite foundation, but no, my favorite setting powder is Laura Mercier translucent. Amazing, like changed my makeup game for sure, because I used to use like a lot of like different ones. Like setting powder was something I kind of didn't really care too much about. But then I would get like flashback, and then I might look ashy, and then like it just wasn't it. So once I started using like honestly a lot of Laura Mercier products, I noticed a huge difference in my makeup. I also love Too Faced. Their lip plumpers are to die for. Let me see if I can find one. And their mascara is amazing. Like I don't know, it's my favorite. It's like very long. I'm not wearing much makeup today. I kind of have like a more what do you call it? A more chill rainy day look, which is just like blush and concealer. But yeah, I'm gonna say Laura Mercier setting powder is my absolute favorite. Too Faced's Born This Way concealer, absolutely the best. Carity's contour palette is amazing. And then I have their blush palette right here, which is also really nice. I use this one a lot. What else is there? Lip gloss, I always use Too Faced lip injections. What else is there? My favorite eyeshadow palette, though, for sure, like I use all the time, is this one. It's the Cinderella palette from Sigma Beauty. So I love Sigma too. They're one of my like favorite brands. And I recently just started getting into where's their palette? Beauty Bay. OMG. Their palettes are to die for. I can't even find one right now, but the quality is amazing. I've been using those a lot. And I do like really mini palettes because I'm someone like, if you give me too many colors, I'll be like, I don't know what I want to do. But if you use like a little mini palette like this, like it's like, you know, you only got so many options.
Hey, so everyone out there, you know what you have to get. Like, you know, summer's coming up. You got to get the glam up. You know, you don't want to go to the beach. You don't want to go to clubs. You don't want to be. So you know what you get now. It's your job now to go out there and step it up.
Period.
So to stay on that course, what's your daily routine like for like your face wash or getting up?
So as far as like face, oh my God. So I wake up, I usually shower. I'll use like my La Roche cleanser, La Roche skincare products, amazing, favorite brand. And Tula's a close second for sure. But I like La Roche's cleanser and their body lotion, amazing. But so I wake up, shower in the morning, use a cleanser. When I get out, I'll use usually a toner, which I've been using the Skin Proud, which just launched in Walmart. Their toner is really good. I use that one a lot. And then I'll use Peach Lily's Repair Serum. That's like my favorite. And then I love under eye stuff. I love to do like under eye, like eye cream. And I've been using the Revlon one and La Roche's under eye cream. Those are amazing because I'm trying not to have eye bags. I feel like eye bags are like the biggest sign of age. I don't know. Like I feel like it's like you see it. You know what I mean? And like only so much concealer can cover that up. So I really care about my eye bags. And then after that, I go on with my La Roche moisturizer. And then I have a Tula sunscreen. I think it's called Glow Getter. Oh my God, it's so good. Like it gives you such a nice shine. And yeah, that's like pretty much the main makeup products skincare products I'll use. I do change them here and there. Like if I run out of like one of my favorites and I'm just like, you know, looking for something, I'll be like, oh, let me try this. This is cool. But I'm definitely someone that picks things based off packaging. Or if I hear like amazing reviews, then like I'll be like, okay, let me try this out. Since I do get like a lot of PR and stuff, so I do pretty much have the opportunity to try a lot of products out, which I love. Sometimes it can be overwhelming because then I'm like, I don't know where to start. So usually if I get too much PR, I will like go through it all and kind of decide what I know I'm going to use, what I'm not going to use. And then I'll donate the rest to like Trans Women of Color. I'll donate it to like LGBTQ centers, like, you know, for, you know, people that like might not have access to it. So I really love doing that. And as far as my makeup routine, I usually do a face mask. Glam Glow's face mask, amazing. I'll do that before I do my makeup, especially if I'm gonna like go out. Loves that. But yeah, my makeup routine's pretty long, so my friends hate me.
Well, I know you touched on the PR of it. What was it like, or how'd you get into the transition for like all the aspiring influencers and content creators out there? How'd you get this switch of like, okay, I'm doing this for me, now I'm doing this for really like other companies, for my image, for my brand, and for another source of income?
Really, that came down to like representation. Like there's just not a lot of like representation in the community or even brands or even in the media. So once I started to realize I was like, you know, kind of a public figure in that general rapport, I felt like I kind of owed my audience, you know, my opinions, my tips, my tricks, my everything. And like also talking to brands like, hey, you need to expand your shade range, or just using products that appeal to like my skin color or darker, and then using products that don't. So people know, okay, well, this isn't working. Maybe you should add more shades, or, appeal to other people. And even like marketing campaigns too. Like it's rare that you see like a black beauty boy in like a campaign shoot. And if they are, it's usually like a model, so it's not the same. I don't know. I feel like it just doesn't feel as genuine. Maybe genuine's not the word. It doesn't feel as natural. I don't know. Versus like choosing someone that like does makeup 24/7, um, who works with brands and that kind of stuff, versus just like hiring a model to, wear whatever you're gonna put on their face, but they don't really know like much about the products. They don't really use the products. So I like when brands work with people that actually genuinely use their products and actually care about the messaging and the brand as a whole, and how they feel like they can help the brand, help themselves, and more than just a certain group of people.
Facts. And it's so important to actually research the companies that you go through, especially in this day and age when we can, and just a Google search, and to make sure that you work with brands that align with your mission is like, it's a beautiful thing. And it's something that if more people took the time to look into it, we would realize which companies we should actually support, and the
Mhm.
strength we have as unity.
Yeah, no, there's so many shady brands out there. Like I've honestly noticed, from being an influencer, like a lot of the larger brands don't work with people of color often. Like I don't know, and they'll like try to pay you a less rate. Like I've noticed that a bunch. So now I'm like really picky, and even if I have to do like less brands, because I'm just being more selective, that's fine. Like I'm not as like hungry for just like working with everyone. So I try to make sure my message aligns with like the brand's message. And before I decide to work with a brand, I'll like go to their page, see what kind of stuff they post. If I'm not seeing any black people, if I'm not seeing any people of color, I'm like, I don't know if this is a fit. So that's really important to me, because I feel like representation is everything. Because when I was growing up, I didn't see anyone on TV like me. I've always been into like beauty and like pink and like all that kind of stuff, but I never like had anyone to like identify with. I was like, oh, I don't know. Like it was just very hard for me to be like, oh wow, I kind of see myself in that person. And if I did, at least back then, it was like always like bad. Like I don't know, whenever they mentioned anything about like the LGBTQ plus population in like movies or like media, it was always like a negative. You never wanted to be put in that category, because it just never seemed like a positive thing to be. But now I feel like there's so many like good representations in the community that like I'm gonna say most people should probably be able to find someone that they could like somewhat identify with, a little bit, even if it's not 100%, which is a lot better than we were like, even a decade ago. So yeah.
So once you get your brand that you're going to work with, and once you're ready to start, we're getting your videos ready, getting your pictures, what's that process like when you're about to make a tutorial video or you're about to make content? Is there like some pre-recording music that you're playing to get you in the zone and get your zen? Like what's that process?
Yeah. So usually I have to listen to music. I'm usually really stressed out, honestly, because I'm like a perfectionist, and I kind of like will like overwhelm myself sometimes when it's like not that big of a deal. I'm like, Kenny, you're fine. So I'll like usually listen to like Nicki Minaj, City Girls. I like a lot of like female rappers. Like I love I've been listening to like Tokyo Jets a lot recently. I've been liking Jack Marlowe too recently. Who else? Lil Uzi, I like him. Yeah, I've been listening to everyone, but I usually typically go for like City Girls, Nicki Minaj, like that genre of music, because they're all kind of like, bad bitches, and like that's always exciting. So it gets me in like the mood to feel like confident, fierce. And I'll usually try to pick out my vibe a little bit beforehand. Like whether if it's like an outfit, I'll be like, okay, I definitely want to be like more sultry tonight and like sexy. So then I'll kind of do a look based off like my outfit. But I usually have in mind what my outfit is first, because I hate doing my makeup and then trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear because nothing matches my look, if you know what I mean.
Mm.
So yeah, it could be a little stressful, but I seem to make do.
So let's talk about your outfit selection, because on social
Mhm.
media, like you're always dressed to the nines. So I got,
Mm-hmm.
we got a few fashion questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, what's it like getting your outfit out? Is it okay, I'm gonna wear this, that? Do you start with the shoes? Do you start with the t-shirt? What's your process like?
So shoes are always last, unless it's like I'm just in love with this shoe that I like bought an outfit for the shoe kind of vibe. But like usually shoes are always last because I usually buy like a sparkly shoe, a plain, like I just have a lot of like similar vibe shoes. I don't know how to explain it, but they kind of all can like go with my outfits. I usually pick out a top first, but I have an idea of like what kind of bottoms I'm gonna wear. I'm like, do I want my butt to be more out today? Do I want it to be a little bit more reserved? Like, I don't know. So that's how I'm usually thinking. Like, it's more so the vibe and energy and where I'm going, you know? So if I'm going out, just better believe I'm going to be showing more skin. I'm going to be probably sparkly. Yeah, I'm probably all dressed up. But if I'm like chilling more, like today I'm like chilling, I feel like I'm in like a cute little like gold, it's kind of sparkly in person, but it's like a sparkly kind of tennis jacket and then like this little hat. So this is like one of my like more chill days. But like I said, I'm just lounging. Um, but yeah, I love the process. I usually always have to have a bag, but I usually pick out my bags last. So I try not to base my outfit off my bag or shoes. Unless I like just got it and I'm obsessed with it and I just like go out and buy a whole entire outfit for it. But yeah, definitely shirt first, pants second, shoes third, and then like a bag. Yeah. And then jewelry's last because then I gotta figure out which jewelry matches with what I'm wearing.
Hey, so next is, who's your fashion like spirit animal? Like, is there someone that you're like, yes, like that person's got it going on, and like you check up on them on IG to like, make sure that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say probably Billy Porter. Yeah, I'm gonna say Billy Porter. I love Billy Porter, at least for like their red carpet looks. I'm always like obsessed. I feel like for fashion, I feel like I watch a lot of like TV and then I'll kind of just like put together my own look in a way, like stealing pieces from like other people, kind of like, oh, I like this on this. And then I'll kind of just piece together whatever it turns out to be. But who else? That's actually a really good question. Because there's not anyone that I like look at 100%, for fashion inspo. It's kind of just like if I like the photo and I like their idea, I'll kind of adapt it and just make it more me. And I think that's mainly because I mean I just recently started wearing a little bit more like women's clothing, but for a while I was buying like women's clothing that was more masculine. Like this shirt is probably no, this is definitely a guy's shirt. Yeah, I think this is actually a men's shirt, but typically I would buy clothes in the women's department that were just a little bit more androgynous, I guess you could say. And then I would make it look more like me. Yeah.
Hey, so speaking of that, what's your go-to stores? Like, where's the place you're going to in person, or where's the place when you're just chilling that you're like, I'm gonna go online shop real quick?
Yeah, so online shopping can be hard. Because I feel like I have to try things on. And I can feel like I can be literally every single size. Just it just depends. I do like Shein, but I don't really shop there that frequently. I did like Dolls Kill up until their little situation. Um, where else? That's a really hard question. I'm like, where do I get all my clothes? I feel like those are probably the main stores. I like thrifting a lot too, though. I
Thrifting is
feel
a
like I'm
big.
a thrifter more so. That's why I'm like having trouble. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely more of a thrifter. But if I'm looking for something like simple, I'm like plain. I usually do like Forever 21, H&M. H&M more than Forever 21 because Forever 21 sizes are just like off to me. Like I don't know. I feel like they'll say it's a small, but it feels like a kid's t-shirt, like an actual like 8-year-old, you know what I mean? So I don't really shop at Forever 21 as much anymore. I usually do like H&M for like a lot of my simple basics because I like to do like a basic something and then I'll have like a statement somewhere. So usually if I have a super like showy bottom, my top is probably very like casual. But if I have a like super showy top, my bottoms are probably casual. Unless it's like a suit, like a jumpsuit kind of thing. But yeah, I also love Plato's Closet. They're amazing. Like if you're looking for something quick and cheap, Plato's Closet, you'll find it. Because I'm not really huge on like Designer clothing, I don't know. Like I feel like I could just never. I feel like for that $1,000 shirt, I can buy like 20 things that look better and like to get the same job done. I'd rather do that on like a bag than like clothing for some weird reason. I don't know.
Facts. I make a day out of each week. Every Thursday is my thrifting day. So I'm always out thrifting. Thrifting is like the go-to. There's so many great gems out there. Like,
Yeah, exactly. That you can't find anywhere else. So that's what I like about thrifting the most because it's like usually like it's one of a kind, it's unique. Versus if you shop at like all the like mainstream and like fast stream places, it's like, you'll probably see someone with the same top. Or like it's just harder to find unique clothing. And I love being unique. So
hey. So what's gonna be your summer 2022 look?
I don't know. Okay, so I'm trying to figure that out. I know it's gonna be a lot of like pastel colors for sure. I'm gonna be going for like baddie meets. I don't know. I'm torn between like baddie and like Gossip Girl vibes. It'll probably wind up being both. I'm thinking like very like classy with a little skink. Like I feel like I love that. Mm-hmm.
Hey, so everyone out there that's trying to get your summer look, I mean, you got a tip from one of the dopest in the game, so you should probably run with it. So you were actually featured in some music videos too. So do you see yourself acting or getting anywhere in that scene?
So I did come out with a song with my friend Gabby, like probably in December. I think it was called Barbie and Ken. I thought it was so fitting. It's actually a bop, so you should go listen to it. But that was pretty much just like a summary of our relationship. Like I feel like it was very like perfect for us, and I love the song. I think we're gonna do another one sometime soon. Don't have a date yet, but probably coming soon. Um, and actually, like the lyrics and stuff, like we came up with pretty quick. It was supposed to be like a 24-hour challenge kind of thing, and like we came up with the lyrics so quick, and I was actually so surprised that I was like kind of a lyricist. So I'm like
Hey.
not opposed to getting into music, honestly. I know I definitely want to do more like acting for sure. I don't know, just for like media representation purposes. And like, I don't know, it'd be cool to just see myself on like a big screen or something, even if I'm just like, way in the back in the corner somewhere. I'll just. But yeah, definitely that for sure. So who knows? I'm very unexpected.
Hey, I was gonna ask about the creative process too. Next for the music.
Yeah, so honestly, I'll listen to like who I actually like. I love Saweetie. Oh my god, Saweetie's like my vibe for sure. But I love Saweetie, so I'll listen to a lot of like her songs and kind of pick up that flow, and then like I'll kind of just start thinking of either experiences I've gone through, me at a club, what am I feeling? Like, what's my mindset? So I really try to dive in and do that because I feel like as far as like beauty and skincare stuff goes, it's hard for me to tap into creativity sometimes because it's like you're just like reviewing a product, or like trying out a product and doing your face. So it's like you can get creative with the look, but as far as like talking, I feel like, you're just explaining a product. So it's like how creative can you get? I mean, I guess you can be pretty creative, but I feel like it's different when you're coming up with like a song and like having it flow and like the beat. Like I feel like it's just like a different kind of creativity.
Hey, and is that an exclusive that you probably got another song coming soon?
Yeah,
Hey.
definitely.
Oh, what?
Definitely. And it's definitely gonna be a party song for sure. I love like upbeat, like fun, like that kind of music. I can't really do sad music because then I'll get my feels and I just yeah, I need to listen to fun, upbeat music that makes you want to like go out with your friends, have fun, forget about all the cares in the world and just live in the moment.
Facts. So on top of the music, what else do you have coming for 2022?
So I actually want to do more. So I've been doing a lot of like LGBT community work. So I love that's like my main thing right now, I would say. Even before beauty, surprisingly. But I do want to get back more into the beauty space too, because I feel like I've been like not as focused on that because I've been doing a lot of LGBT community stuff on the side, like, applying for grants, getting like all types of funding and stuff together to, host more events like drag shows, drag brunches, paint and jams, just anything to get the community together to, have a good time. Because like I said, it's very rare to find like-minded people or people that are accepting, at least in my area. So it's really cool to see people like you come together, have a safe space, you know, hang out. I do plan to travel to New York more because it's only like an hour-ish, hour and a half from me. Actually, I'll be there in like a couple weeks, but yeah, I want to travel more, and I'm going to DC this weekend. Um, and I want to go to like Puerto Rico soon. So yeah, I want to just live life more, and I want to buy a house. So yeah.
Hey, so you heard it here first. 2022. The rest of the year is yours.
Hmm. Yeah, 2021 was amazing. So I got to keep up this momentum.
Yeah, and to everyone that's out there listening, like, you know, it's all about being yourself, and it's all about, you know, just living life fully to the best and being positive, because, you know, we're only here for like 100 years, so might as well
Yeah,
just be as positive and carefree as you can be, but cautious.
yeah, literally. And like I said before, like I don't regret anything because I feel like everything's a learning experience. Like, you know, like I feel like I can learn from anything. So I even when people are just like mean to like, you know, a homeless person on the street, I'm like, you can learn from that person. Like, you know, you just never know who you can learn something from. So I don't know, that's been like a huge like eye-opening thing for me because I'm like, I feel like I literally learn from everyone all the time, like no matter who you are. Um, so I'm very open to just like being friends with a lot of people. And I know sometimes online it can seem like opposite. I feel like I always like, you know, I can seem intimidating online. Which actually affects me kind of mentally a lot because I do care about what my peers think, like people that I know, you know what I mean, but not so much about people online. I feel like I just get very in my head when I think someone thinks I'm like a mean girl because I like the whole Barbie pink look, you know? And it's like maybe if you got to know me, you would not think that because I don't know. But yeah, I just rambled. No idea.
No, no. But you touched on a good point, that like just being humble enough to learn. So for all the listeners out there that want to learn something, what advice could you give them, whether if they're afraid of being themselves or if they want to get into the same space that you're in? What's some advice that you would give them?
Allow people the room to speak and be a good listener. Like literally, you'll be surprised of what you hear, you know. But if you're constantly over talking someone, if you're constantly like not letting someone get out a thought, and you're not being like, you know, aware and just allowing someone the space to, you know, tell their journey, tell their story, you won't. You will always be stuck in your ways. You'll always kind of just feel like your way is always the right way, you know. And I think that that comes down to a lot of the things that, you know, the LGBT plus community experiences. It's like if I'm sure if like half of these people that want to like throw hate online spent like had like an hour conversation, they would have like, you know, a bit more respect for some people. I don't know. Cause I feel like it all just comes down to educating and like just accepting people. Because at the end of the day, it's like it's no one's business who you sleep with, I feel. It's like do what you want to do. And like if you're not the one, then why do you care what I'm doing? I just never understood that. Like, you know, why do you care about what someone else is doing if it's not impacting you at all? You
Mm.
know, especially if you're not trying to learn from that person. Like, I think it's awesome when you care because you want to learn, you know, and you want to be like a better advocate. But if you're listening around just to throw hate, because I see that a lot. Like, when I post stuff, it's like, okay, now there's this homophobe, you know, and I'm like, how did you even find my account? You know what I mean? Like, how, why are you even here? So were you looking up homophobes? Like, were you looking up like certain things, you know what I mean, to just be hateful to people? Because then that's a problem. It's like, why are you even looking it up? So it's like when you're outwardly going out there to seek and throw hate on people, I think that's just pathetic and I think it's sad. That people have that much time on their hands, you know? Like maybe you should focus your energy on like something more positive. Cause at the end of the day, you never know. Your kid can come out LGBTQ plus. And then you're gonna be looking dumb because you were like throwing hate at all these people. You aren't even aware now because you didn't take the time that you could have taken to learn, you know? You were rude, you're ignorant and disrespectful. So now you're gonna, you know, probably raise that kid and be really awful when you could have like learned something from other people. So that's what I was thinking. Never know.
Mm. And yeah, I don't know, like you're just hitting the nail on the head, and really like, well, gotta praise the fact that you're doing it, because a lot of things on social media, people could view it and say like, oh my God, this is someone's highlights, or oh my God, this is that. But for you to just say, you know what, I'm embracing everything, whatever you say, like, I'm just me, like that's just, you just can't preach that anymore. And to all the listeners out there, it doesn't matter if you have 1 follower, 1,000 followers, 10,000, nothing matters. If you're not being yourself, you are never going to be happy. And like, it's really like that deep. And I think social media made it worse, where people want to feel like they're this, or people want to feel like they're that. And just being yourself is so pure and it's so simple to do. Like, just more people should do it. And for everyone listening out there, like, if they want to follow your journey, and like, if they just hear your words and they take it and they run with it and they want to follow up with you, where can they find you on social media?
So pretty much all my socials are at KSCREVEN. Yeah, that's all my socials.
Bet that. So everyone out there, why follow a celebrity that's not posting things that you can relate to? Go follow a celebrity that is really themselves and someone that you can learn from and relate to. And with that being said, thank you for being a part of the podcast.
Of course, thank you for having me. I had so much fun. Hey, Booze, this is Kenny, and you're tuning in with the Love It Podcast.